Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are happy to continue with activities within Moldova Business Week. My guests of this fireside discussion are Natalia Bejan, Director of Invest Moldova Agency, and Natalia, we are lucky to have with us today Andrzej, Director of the Polish Agency for Investment Attraction and Trade Promotion. A very successful organization. By the way, I'd like to start by congratulating you on Poland, one of most strongest and most stable economies in Europe, and one with a very high level of foreign direct investments in GDP. And first thing that we would like to discuss with you is what are the factors of success behind that high level of foreign direct investments, and plus you are that country that has a positive growth of the level of foreign direct investments, and we can't say the same thing for Moldova in recent years. For us it was a less fortunate period, and we also want to understand from the very beginning if this inflow of investments is driven by certain activities, projects of your agency. Let us know.
Okay, many questions. Thank you very much for inviting me for this meeting. Yes, that's very true that since like yesterday we had a very fruitful meetings and discussions. So this exchange of views, also knowledge, was very important for our side to better understand the opportunities and possibilities for cooperation in Moldova. Mm-hmm. So giving an answer to your first question, why we are successful, and the answer is very simple. It's because of the people in Poland. So I think that the element that is attracting the most foreign investors, but also investors from Poland. So there are many, like reinvestments in Poland. That is the pool of talent. That is something when I talk quite often with the foreign investors, people who are making decisions globally about where they want to invest, and I'm asking them, like, okay, but what was like the driving element, the chief element why you decided to come here? It's like always they say about excellent pool of talents. So the people, the quality of labor, quality of work. People in Poland, like in Moldova, are hardworking people, and I think that is the reason number one. So the element that is attracting the most foreign investors to Poland.
So does that mean that you are almost doing nothing, not a big effort to attract investments because you have all the premises in place? Of course, I'm joking. I believe that you have many activities, you as the agency, that is somehow attracting potential investors to come and see what are the opportunities that you are offering as a country, and then coming there and seeing all the factors on the ground, all the premises, they are taking that decision. So I believe there is a lot of effort and dedication of the staff of your agency that is contributing to increasing the volume of investments. And since we are in Moldova Business Week, tell us, do you have similar events in Poland that you are regularly organizing, and are they designed actually to target the existing investors who may be reinvesting, or are they designed to bring new investments? Share with us your experience, because we are experimenting currently every year. We want to be more effective in attracting people to those events. So your experience as an experience of a successful investment attraction agency will be very helpful for us, right, Natalia? I'm not sure if you have already managed to discuss it with...
Tell us all the secrets.
So secret number one, you already know. That's the pool of talents, right? But so as that is the case in Moldova, let me complement the level of the event that you organize. It's really like the highest possible European standard. And I hope that we will match this level in 2
Sorry,
weeks.
but I hope we will match your level of
No,
foreign
come on.
direct
Foreign
investments, and you can match our level on
So,
the Moldova Business Week.
Actually, we have, like, we call it PAIH, so the Polish Trade Investment Agency, PAIH Business Forum, that is going to take place in the first week of October. I would like to warmly invite all interested parts to take part in that event, and I hope that it will be also that successful as yours. And that is more because the agency I have the privilege work with at its trade and investments. So this event is more dedicated to trade.
Okay.
There are also elements related to investments. But in the first half of the year, we have another event, which is dedicated only to investments. You know, giving the kind of a hint or the secret number 2, why we were so far, and we are at the moment successful with attracting foreign investors, is actually the fact that we are part of the common European market. I think without that fact, if Poland would be out of European Union, majority, like over half of the investment, even more, I don't want to say that all of them, but like large majority of the investments that are located in Poland would never happen. So people are coming to Poland and putting their money, you know, their future, they want to make money out of investments. It's because of the fact that Poland is a member of the European Union. And that is the kind of a recommendation for a path that Moldovan people could consider, because in Poland we had this courage, and 20 years ago we decided to join the European Union. That was a very difficult decision at that time. There were many pros and cons, but luckily for all of us in Poland and in Europe, we did that step with a lot of efforts for reforming, a lot of, you know, like tough work at that time, but it paid for us. So Poland is the country as it is right now because of joining to the European Union. I will make a stop here.
I think I can also confirm on our end that even though we are just on our path of joining, we've just started negotiations a couple of months ago, I can already confirm that for sure it's more than half of the investors, the potential investors that we cross paths with and that are interested in Moldova, see as the potential of joining the European Union as one of the most important strengths of the country. So basically being ready to get there, be part of the European Union, and not being there yet, but this is not a disadvantage because there's so many things that we can explore right now and offer as advantages to the investors, because we are not yet there, but hopefully we're going to get there. You know, we have a referendum this autumn. People will have their say, but I think like there is, I don't want to speak for everyone, that's why we have a referendum, but I think we have a feeling that there is a quite common feeling that this is the our path, this is where we want to go. And also I would like to add on the talent thing that you've said. Yesterday when I made a presentation on the opportunities we have in Moldova for investments, it was a bit weird for me when I sat at the end and looked at the whole presentation, because out of the like 10 slides that I had, the four first ones had talent in it. It was about talent, IT talent, general talent, access to talent. What is also interesting, what you're saying as well, is that many countries are speaking about people as an advantage because it's cheap labor force. And that's not anymore the case. In Moldova, that's not anymore the case. And I believe in Poland, for sure in Poland, that's not anymore the case. So it's very interesting to hear.
Luckily.
Right?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, everybody, if people, they make money, you know, and they are, you know, rightly paid for their job, it's perfectly fine.
So I think we have to also switch our mentality and stop annoying ourselves with the idea that we no longer have cheap labor force, like a lot of people that are ready to work for nothing. Like, let's be proud that we have more talented people that can bring added value to the investors. rather than just do, and I'm going to exaggerate now, just monkey jobs. Like, let's get to the next level.
And I think that actually that is a task, an objective for what we do as agencies, is to attract the correct, like the best investments that are actually contributing to the level of life and good by understanding by this, good salaries for people, and jobs actually that are interesting for people and contributing for society. That's our job.
Yeah. We are getting to the topic that is exactly what I wanted to discuss. It's about investment attraction strategy. And now, as you are the head of the agency, you have probably difficult times. How do we attract investments? How do we market and position our country among many countries that are doing the same thing, striving to attract more investments? And here I would like to know your experience as Poland. Now, many are insisting that there should be clearly defined strategic priorities, that we should get an understanding and sit together and decide that agriculture or automotive or services will be the areas where we want to attract more investments and start working specifically in those directions. I'm of a different opinion, frankly speaking, but how about you? Do you think that identifying the sectors of the economy where you believe you have this competitive advantage was a source of success for you to attract investments? Same for you, Natalia, because probably before coming as a head of the agency, you were attending all those events and where you would get into a discussion where we would promote like Tea Park, different ecosystems with fiscal facilities, or where we would praise very fertile soil and so on and so forth. And now what you are referring about is just about our talents, cross-cutting all the industries. So I would like to make an exchange of opinion on that. What strategy is working the best?
My personal opinion is it's really important to know not only in life but also in professional life and in politics, in policy making, where we want to go. So like priorities are important, because I think that if we don't know where we go, we will arrive like nowhere. So making priorities, like the sectors you mentioned that possibly should be developed in a country, it's a good direction, and I think this decision should be made on the analysis. Where are our like strong points? We call it comparative advantages. So actually, it's simply what we are good at. Like if there are people who are good in agriculture, so maybe let's develop this sector. But on the other hand, we are good at something, but we possibly want to establish or start operation in different sector, in another sector. So it's more about ambitions. So okay, we have like in Poland, we are very good in manufacturing cars. The automotive industry is very good. Also electromobility. Poland is #1 in production of batteries in the European Union, but right now we want to put a new sector in Poland, which is semiconductors, so production of chips, because we believe in our strategy that if we want to keep industry in Poland and if we want to be part of the economy of the future, we want to have production of chips on our soil. We believe that it's like with cars, right? The traditional cars, the value of chips in traditional car compared to the electric one is like 5 times more. So we want to have production of chips close to our factories. And we believe in our strategy that by having this semiconductor chip industry, that will simply, as I said, secure our position in the future. Despite the fact that at the moment our competences are limited at that field, but we are collaborating with universities, with local governments. We also shaped the policies, the structure of the public aid, you know.
Just a small clarification.
Just to attract
Do you as
the attention.
agency actively participate in the elaboration of strategy? Or are there, let's say, Ministry of Economy together with Ministry of Finance are looking into the numbers, and then you are just the one who is implementing? What is the level of involvement of the agency in designing that strategy?
I think it's high in a sense that we are trying to be proactive, also because of the fact that we follow what are the global trends on one hand, but we are also very close to the business community, and we are trying to hear from them. So what could be interesting for the future, what we should do right now in order to be successful in 5, I don't know, 10 years perspective. So I think it's because we are close to the business. We are also very active in the policy shaping in Poland. But it's not that, but I just want to say that it's not that we are shaping the policy. We are contributing into that.
Okay, Natalia, tell us, what are your conclusions up to your very short, position in the agency? What is the...
But she is more experienced than me, by the way. It's like
2 weeks.
My mandate is 2 weeks longer, as we just found out today.
Okay.
Than Andrzej's. So I think there are 2 approaches. One is the reactive one. So we are not going to close the door to anyone who is asking us for support, who is asking us for any clarifications or support where can we buy a land or build something, who can build, whom can we employ, what companies can I cooperate with, what associations can I talk to, or what kind of competition is there on the market. So reactively, we are talking to everyone, and I would keep this the same way. I think we are not at the level where we can cherry pick the investors we want to work with, even though I would be very interested to know later maybe from you if you are actually rejecting some investors from genuinely coming to the Polish market, because that could also be a situation. But when it comes to the proactive approach, you have to have a focus. You just cannot start promoting Moldova today on all 100-something markets with all the talents that we have across all the industries. So from that perspective, I think we have to have a focus. That is why for me, for us, I think that's Moldova, it is important that we have a counterparty as the Ministry of Economy and the government in general that is deciding these industries that are priority industries. We are also contributing, but we are contributing at the level when the analysis was done, the recommendations are there on the table, and we have our say in the process. The same, by the way, as the business community can also contribute to those programs. So right now for us, it is for sure the Moldova IT Park as one of the platforms, is the IT and is the services, and on the other hand is the industrialization program, which gives us a very concrete list of 6 specific industries where the state is preparing the state aid. So proactively, this is going to be our most important pitch about the country. Reactively, we're going to welcome every investor that has in mind also the interests of Moldova.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. How about aftercare? The service that that you are now designing to implement, because sometimes we have to acknowledge that it's not about bringing the investor, but then to retain the investor here and to kind of preserve that comfort zone that has been promised to the investor then when it has been attracted. But sometimes we have these turbulent times, and we can always have the same context, the same conditions, and political situation may change, and geopolitical situation may change. So what do we do? Do you have aftercare service, or is it something that you leave to some other stakeholders?
Of course we have. I think if there is a say in this business, that if you want to attract new investors, take care about those who are already here.
Okay.
Why? Because they are the ambassador of your,
Okay.
of what you of your interests. The new investors, when they are coming to the country, they make a survey. Before they put money, they want to be sure that they will have some profits out of it, right? That's why they do investments, and that's why reputation of the country, how the real investments are treated, how successful the business that is already on the field are very important. That's why, staying in touch with investors, listening, what are their needs, what are their problems. I think what you mentioned, you touched that, to be attentive, about what are the needs. That is one thing, and very important. And another element, I think, which is important when we are attracting investors, is that they should have this feeling that we are hunger. Like, we really want them. We really want them to work together, because it's a kind of it's very natural in business. So they look for a partner, and if the partner have the same goals, is motivated, right? So that is something and the track record, as we mentioned before.
Just a bit of clarification, and then that will help us to continue. Do you have certain instruments, a certain, range of services, aftercare services that you're offering, or your role is just to receive the feedback, to maintain this connection, and then to convey that feedback to other authorities that are supposed to care about those investors? Would you be very proactive in case an investor is coming and telling you, I have a problem with a license or a permit? Can you pick up the phone and call and ask that those people are not ignoring me? Where do you stop with your assistance, let's say so?
There are no limits. So we are like, it's like we are supporting each other with like no limits. So all the problems, there are like small things that sometimes are, very problematic in operation, from operational point of view. It can be even a bus stop, that is like, 200 meters away from the factory, and that is creating, something, or a lack of public transport from the factory to the city center. It can be also like lack of certain qualification. So cooperation with local authorities about the, educational programs for technical, competences is important. So this, if we take care about details, we can create the success, which is the, and the entire success. So this, paying attention about details, about the needs is, I think, extremely important, extremely. And we are trying to be with, in touch as friends, as supporters, because it's also our experience that many investments that are happening in Poland, that is actually the extension of the existing investments. So let's put company X. So they started, with service center for electronics. But, that are the global, big, companies, and they have also production, they have R&D centers, they have, assembly. And if they are happy with this very small, narrowed part they establish in your country or in the city or in the region, then naturally, if they want to extend operations, at first point they think about the place where they are ready. So it's very important about caring of the investors.
I can say on our end that we are catching up fast speed on this particular topic, because in January, for example, at Invest Moldova agency, there was no aftercare person, department, nothing like that. Only this year we have created this team. Today we have 5 people that are taking care of the investors that are already in Moldova. We are at the very beginning of the stages of understanding how can we support more, but we have several investors right now in our active work, and those needs are so, they just make sense. They absolutely make sense. I'll just give you 2 examples, and both of them are quite significant values. So we're talking about millions of euros that are being potentially blocked or slightly delayed because there is something missing. For example, there is one company that has purchased equipment that is of very high intensity and power, and the electricity grid doesn't have this capacity to sustain. So the equipment cannot be used yet. Should the government step in and make sure that the electrical infrastructure is there?
Absolutely, yes.
Everyone agrees that yes, of course, it should be there. And we have another case where we have a production of animal meat. I don't want to go into details about it, but it's about constructing the next plant, the 4th plant of the company. They've already purchased, they are going to invest 15 million euros, and they're just saying, like, wouldn't it be fair if the road that goes to our plant, which is part of a village, would be reconstructed so that all the trucks that pass the village wouldn't disturb the people working in the village and living in the villages, being at home. And again, it kind of, everyone says, of course, it kind of makes sense. It's again the government of the public authority's responsibility. So then we kind of step in, we just say, okay, it makes sense, let's find a solution.
Oh, and to continue this topic, by the way, because the associations, business associations, they have also a role to assist businesses. Usually it's about the public-private dialogue and about the legislation, upcoming legislation, and the way it is going to impact those businesses. So do you, and I know that you would definitely go and recommend a business association for a permanent membership with, so that they receive all the benefits that we are offering as business associations. How do you work with business associations in Poland? And I know that in your background, you used to be part of the Polish Chamber of Commerce.
I was advisor there, yes, true. So it's like, I think in order to be successful, so the communication is very needed. I already mentioned that our relation with business are very close. So we are attentively hearing what are the needs, and close collaboration with Chamber of Commerce, associations of business, like AmCham in Poland is a very good partner for us, important partner in Poland. We are constantly doing this, like meeting, exchanging views, opinions, and I think it's without good communication, understanding, learning from each other, success is not possible.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope, Natalia, that you would recommend business associations you're working with for the coming and existing investors, right?
Absolutely, because there are things that it would be not correct if a public institution would do, but it's absolutely okay and correct if the business associations would do. Like, for example, lobbying for a certain company. We can do that only in the case when it's an absolute evidence that this is for the better of the population of the Republic of Moldova, so it has to be more strategic, more general. But you can go and work for the interest of every single company. If it makes sense from the business perspective, then of course they have to go there. Also, you are offering the platform, selling your services basically. Also, you are offering this community. You are building a community. We are not mandatorily building a community in between the investors. We are more building individual relationships with every single one of them. So we're kind of complementing each other. And the way we are doing it, for example, today, now, or these days with Moldova Business Week, I think one of the most important takeaways for me personally is going to actually be the cooperation with the business associations during this week. I think this is what made it. If there is positive feedback, and I hear a lot of positive feedback, then this is only because there is this mutual support.
Yeah, thank you for that. One important thing that I wanted to discuss with you, and at what extent you are discussing now the opportunity related to Ukraine reconstruction. You know, we are neighbors to the same situation of war in Ukraine. And of course, many see it as a big trouble, generating many issues for the economy. Like for Moldova, we have to admit that our economy partially is in decline because of the geopolitical situation. However, we see some potential of benefiting from what is happening in the region, and namely participating in the effort of Ukraine reconstruction. Now, if you can share your opinion on you know, the impact of the war in Ukraine on Polish economy, do you see more of an opportunity there? Because we know that a lot of Ukrainians migrated actually, and they were very well received and assimilated in the economy. A lot of businesses from Poland actually have aligned or developed their services to accommodate, to host all the Ukrainians that unfortunately have to run away from the war. And then on the second stage, are you looking forward to participate in Ukraine recovery? Are you working on a certain strategy? Are you trying to identify the industries that could benefit the most?
So Ukraine is for my organization, but also for Poland, is a strategic partner. So that's our neighbor, and that is something that is common for Moldova and for Poland. So as agency, we are trying to be proactive, and so we are trying to animate the business links and lower the cost of entering the Ukrainian market for Polish business community. So over last year, we organized like 8 sectorial business missions to Ukraine. In June, we also, as the first EU country, we organized like a business forum, like a more holistic, where all sectors were invited. We recently just opened second office in Lviv. The office in Kiev was re-established last year. As agency, we also created, not far in the local capitals in Lublin and Rzeszów, so that's are the main cities on the border with, not far from the border with Ukraine. We established also the regional offices of the agency, and all this infrastructure, the aim of it is to facilitate the trade, maybe investments in 2 sites. That is also interesting.
So it's not only about the relocation of some of Ukrainian business to Poland. Is it about a relocation at certain extent so that they somehow survive as far as the war is ongoing, or is it both directions?
It's about also maintaining the Polish investments in Ukraine.
In Ukraine, okay.
So that is, I think, a very important element that and phenomenon that Polish investors that were in Ukraine since years, they decided to remain, and they are still active, operational. They employ people, they pay taxes, they contribute to Ukrainian economy, and we actively support them. So we are in direct contact. If there are problems, operational problems, we also facilitate contact with Ukrainian authorities to solve it. Why? To make them successful, to make them happy. Also to, because of that, there will be more interest in new investors to come to Ukraine for the reconstruction. We also created this infrastructure to, at this level, and that is very true, to animate trade. So the trade exchange is increasing over the last years. I think our export to Ukraine reached the level of 12 billion euros last year. But I need to check. I think it was increasing significantly over the last years. What is also interesting, and we are also supporting that, is that every 10th new business activity is created by Ukrainian citizens. So yeah, so 10% of new businesses is actually created by Ukrainians.
Interesting.
There are investments,
interesting
like, you know, in some areas of Ukrainian capital in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
So possibly in their strategy, they want to be on the safe side of the border. So they are in Poland, and we are assisting and helping them. But on the other hand, we want to stimulate also using the potential of other institutions, because you ask about that, if PAIH is the only organization. No, we have the entire ecosystem at the central level. There are many agencies, banks, assurance, state assurance companies. So it's like a complete entire system, but also at the region level. And that is also part of the success, I believe, in Poland, that we have competitive systems. So the regions, every region has its own center for attracting investors, and they are competing between them. So they make offer better and better, and that is also, I mean, you know, helping a lot, I believe. But coming back to Ukraine, with Natalia, we've just discussed that we would like to establish, we will look potential into closer collaboration between our agencies in making projects together.
Yes.
Maybe jointly with with
Yes.
Because it looks like we are both working with Invest Ukraine, just
Indeed.
we never crossed the path with the three of us. And Andrzej already has some plans of going to Ukraine next month. And we've agreed that they are actually coming through Chisinau, so we are going to welcome them here first, and then perhaps we're going to also join them there, and hopefully the
in Odessa.
Yes, in Odessa. And hopefully the Ukrainian colleagues will be as excited as we were today while making the plans.
Okay, great. Actually, I have another two questions, but I know...
The final.
Yes, final, absolutely final. So the pre-final one is about your connection with Polish diaspora, and in what way you are trying to bring talents back or bring their capital back into the Polish economy. Because I know this is another area that currently Natalia at the agency is trying to work on, and maybe you can also have a good exchange of ideas on this.
I think it's a natural phenomenon that we are observing right now in Poland. People more often, they are coming back to Poland. And the reason for that is that, first of all, we joined European Union. Then we were successful in developing our economy. And these two elements are connected. And third, because salaries are good, you know, level of life is good. So people, they come back. And the same will be in Moldova.
So the conclusion is that we should not expect that diaspora will contribute to economy development. We would rather have to develop our economy and make it more comfortable to live in, and then we will receive our talents back. Okay, I have another question, but I'll discuss it with you on a different occasion because we really don't have time, and thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to have this discussion. I think it was very valuable.
Thank you, Mila, for moderating this conversation. And thank you, Andrzej, for coming to Moldova. I'm looking forward to have you here again.
It's promised. It's done. So
okay.
yeah, thank you very much for the invitation.
Good. Thank you. Bye-bye.